All right, let's talk about adding and subtracting fractions. If you have the same denominator, keep the denominator and then add or subtract the numerator. If you have different denominators, find the smallest number that both denominators will go into. So the least common multiple. Then multiply top and bottom, numerator and denominator of both fractions so that you have the same denominator. Once you have the same denominator, you follow the same denominator rules. Keep your denominator, add or subtract your numerator. So if we have 1/2 plus 1/2, my denominator is the same, so I keep my denominator and just add my numerator. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we simplify if possible. 2 over 2, 2 will go into both of those. So if I divide both numbers by 2, I will get 1 over 1, which is 1. All right, if I have 1/8 plus 5/8, my denominator is the same, so I keep my denominator and just add my numerator. 1 plus 5 is 6. 2 will go into both 6 and 8, so I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. If I have 7/8 minus 5/8, my denominators are the same, so I'm going to keep the 8. And now I'm just looking at my numerator, 7 minus 5. Because we deal with integers in 7th grade, anytime we have a subtraction problem, we want to do additive inverse to turn it into an addition problem so that we can use our adding rules. Keep your first number, change subtraction to addition, take the opposite of the second number. My signs are different, so I subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2, and I can simplify that. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And it's positive because the bigger fraction is positive. All right, if you have different denominators, 1/3 plus 3/4. My denominators are 3 and 4. Those are not the same, so I need to find the least common multiple, the smallest number that both 3 and 4 will go into. For 3, the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12. For 4, it's 4, 8, 12. The smallest number that both of them will go into is 12. So I've got to multiply 1/3 by a number so that I have 12 on the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12. Whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top so that it's still an equivalent fraction. 1 times 4 is 4. I multiply 4 by 3 to get 12. 3 times 3 is 9. And now I add these together. 4 twelfths, I rewrite my fractions, plus 9 twelfths. 9 plus 4 is 13. And that cannot be simplified, so that's my answer. We're going to leave it as an improper fraction for right now. If I have 1/4 minus 5/6, my denominators are not the same. I have a 4 and a 6. So 4s, 4, 8, 12. For 6s, I have 6, 12. Now, you can use 24. You can use a bigger number that 4 and 6 both go into. But you want to find the smallest number. That way you have least amount of smaller numbers to work with. So least amount of work that you have to do. So I need to figure out, what do I multiply 4 by to get 12? Well, I multiply 4 by 3. So I do that on the top and the bottom to get 3 over 12. For 6, I multiply by 2. What I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So that's 10 over 12. Now that my denominators are the same, I keep my denominator and just subtract my numerator. I have 3 minus 10. I cannot take 10 away from 3, so I have to use additive inverse to change this into an addition problem so that I can use my integer rules. So I'm going to keep my first number, change subtraction to addition, take the opposite of the second number. My signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. The number with the highest absolute value is 10, and it is negative, so the numerator is negative. So my answer is negative 7 over 12. Negative 7 twelfths. Michael bought 1/2 pound of Swiss cheese, he used 1/4 pound for a sandwich. How much was left? So we're going to take how much he started with, and we're going to subtract how much he used. I have to have a common denominator, so I've got to figure out what's the least common multiple of 2 and 4. 2, 4, 6, 8, 4, 8, 12. The smallest number that both of them go into is 4. So I'm going to take my first fraction, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 over 2, so that I get 2 over 4. My second fraction already has a denominator of 4, so I can leave it alone. 2 fourths minus 1/4. My denominator is now the same, so I'm going to keep my denominator, subtract my numerator. 2 minus 1. I can take 2 from 1. 2 minus 1 is just 1. So we have 1/4 pound of cheese